Okay, hello everyone. My name's Peter Copley. I'm chairing the session on senior ecologist threatened species with Juna. This afternoon's session is on abundant native species and their management, and our first presentation is by Freyja, and she's talking about koalas on Kangaroo Island and their management through fertility control.
Okay, yep, so as was just mentioned, I'm talking about koalas and their breeding dynamics on Kangaroo Island. So as part of my honours project, I looked at the breeding dynamics. So just a bit of background, koalas aren't native to Kangaroo Island, and in the 1920s, 18 animals were translocated to the island in a preservation attempt as numbers declined on the mainland. And signs of koala overbrowse were first reported in the 60s, and by 1994 the population was seen to be significantly impacting the health of their preferred food trees, with the majority of their preferred species showing 50% canopy defoliation. So in response to this, in 1997 the Koala Management Program was established. So the main aim of the program was to reduce koala densities to sustainable levels in order to conserve eucalypt ecosystems. And this was done through fertility control of koalas via surgical sterilisation. And as part of this, they realised that the sustainable level would be 0.75 koalas per hectare. Okay, so for fertility management, the island is divided into 6 management units. And as of 2014 data, 58% of management has been undertaken in Cygnet River, 22% in Eleanor Timber, 8% in the southwest, 8% in North Coast, and 4% in Flinders Park. And the Dudley Peninsula is a reference unit, as no koalas have been ever seen here. So about 9,000 female koalas have been caught in this time. This doesn't include males. About 3,000 have been caught, but it was found early that they did not have a significant impact on breeding. So today I'll be talking about the Eleanor Timber and Cygnet River units, as most of the management has been taking place here. Okay, so koala habitat has been categorised into 3 different categories. So there's the high quality habitat, which includes the rough bark manna gum, blue gum, river gum and swamp gum as primary species, and medium quality habitat with these species occurring as secondary species, and low quality habitat does not have these species at all, but does include brown stringy bark and messmate stringy bark. Okay, so as part of my project, I looked at the aims as has the koala management program been effective in reducing koala densities, and also has fertility management induced changes in the koala breeding activity. Okay, so the density measurements were obtained from double count data, which are from annual census records of the koala population. And census counts are used from the double count method, which was developed by Koala, and involves 2 independent observers observing each site for koalas, and each site is between 3 to 10 hectares in size. And the data is assigned to categories based on detection type. So numbers seen only by observer 1, only by observer 2, and the numbers seen by both. And this was used to analyse population estimates. Okay, so in Cygnet River, you can see that koala density has been declining over time in high quality habitats, and as with medium quality habitats. And this is the 0.75 sustainable density. So as you can see, low quality habitats, it has remained under that sustainable level throughout the management period, and since about 2005-06 in the high and medium quality habitats. And in Eleanor Timber Creek, there hasn't been as much of a pattern. In fact, there isn't really a definitive pattern, but it has remained around that 0.75 mark for most years. This could be due to the fact that management hasn't been as strong in the Eleanor Timber Creek. Okay, so breeding dynamics. So firstly, I looked at weight. So this is the percentage of female... the percentage of females carrying young. So as you can see, it's a sloping curve which starts from around 2 kilos and goes up to about 10. Okay, and this is just the raw numbers, so you can see at about in between 5 to 6 kilos is about 136, and interestingly enough, the smallest koala that was carrying a young was only 2.3 kilos. And this is interesting because previous work on Australian koalas has found that there should actually be a threshold mass where under 6 kilos koalas do not breed. And what I found is that it's actually more of a sloping curve trend rather than a threshold. All these studies were done on eastern and Victorian populations, so it's possible that it's maybe different in South Australia. It could be something to do with an island population, or perhaps it's not as fluid throughout populations as previously thought. Okay, so modelling koala breeding activity. So I explored it in 2 ways. The per head over the entire population. This was from the double counts census database, and it only included back young. But I used it because it was the only data set that included both the sterilised and unsterilised proportions of the population. And this data, the sex of the adult koalas wasn't reliably determined. And the second way I looked at it was the reproductive activity of the unsterilised female population. And this was records collected during sterilisation, and it assessed the proportion of reproductively mature females caught with pouch or back young, and these were explored using binomial GLMs. So the results for per head of the entire population. So as you can see, there's been a steady decline in the percentage of young being born over the 1998 to 2014 management period. And this indicates a significant proportion of the females in Cygnet River have been sterilised, and is an indication that the sterilisation program has been successful in reducing the overall population breeding rate. And in Eleanor Timber Creek, you can see that this trend is seen to a lesser degree, but the confidence intervals are quite larger. Okay, and just to show that in high, medium and low quality habitat, the trend is repeated. And there isn't really a difference between habitat qualities in Eleanor or Cygnet River. Okay, so the reproductive activity of the unsterilised female population. Okay, so it's actually increasing in Cygnet River. So you can see that over the management period, it has increased by about 8 to 10% over the period. And in Eleanor Timber Creek, the trend can be seen very slightly, but it's much more pronounced in Cygnet River. So why is this? Well, it could be that a compensatory process may be occurring in response to population management. So reduction in population densities. So in Cygnet River, koalas have been declining, and they haven't substantially exceeded the target densities since 2006. So there could be a reduced competition for food, which increases the number of females meeting the energy demands needed for reproduction. And it could also be dispersal from lower quality habitats or from the surrounding units as koalas move from low to high quality habitat, and these are all factors that can lead to compensation. So, can compensation be dealt with? Well, yes, it can, provided that a sufficient proportion of females are annually sterilised. And an excellent example of this is Cygnet River, where the population level breeding rates are decreasing over time, as I previously showed. But even though the percentage of reproductive females is increasing over time, the overall population breeding rate is decreasing over time. Sorry, I probably didn't need to go back through all those slides. Okay, so what about the future? Well, in 2013, a report was prepared, and they developed a population model to estimate the probability of achieving a declining population on KA over a 10-year management period. And this showed that if 209 koalas were sterilised each year in the Cygnet River, there'd be an 85% probability that the population of koalas would decline or stay stable, and at 235 koalas sterilised per year, there'd be a 95% chance. So as you can see, this target's been met for about 50% of years, and this is due to differences in funding throughout each year. And for the Eleanor Timber Creek, 129 koalas per year, that's an 85% chance of decrease, and 148 is 95%. As you can see, this has been met for about 35% of years, and it's highly recommended that these management targets are met in future years, depending on funding, subject to funding, to prevent a population increasing over time. So to summarise, the program has been successful in reducing densities where management's been targeted. Koala densities have not substantially exceeded the management target since 2006 in Cygnet River. The population breeding rates are declining over time, but the increased proportion of reproductively active females breeding over time suggests a compensatory response. But population reduction can still be achieved, and to ensure this continues into the future, it's recommended that sterilisation targets are maintained to ensure that the population does not increase in the future. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes.
The two areas that you did got your figures.
Yeah.
I can't remember entirely off the top of my head, but those particular areas aren't that densely vegetated, are they?
The areas that sterilisation and management's been focused on are the high-quality habitat areas of Eucalyptus viminalis, mostly, so like along the riverbanks. So I think so. Where the sorry, my head's getting this.
Most of those
Yeah.
areas, in those two target areas, were they private land mainly?
I might have to ask. Yes, private land. Yes,
They were.
yes, but they were the areas that in the past it had been seen that primary defoliation and most densely populated. Yeah, sorry.
Stay?
A significant proportion of the koalas, or the koalas on Koala, have been through several genetic bottlenecks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of testicular aplasia and problems with sperm abnormalities and hunchbacks and all sorts of things happening in that population. I was just wondering whether you could comment about the overlap between some of these inbreeding issues and the proportion of animals you saw with some of those issues.
I actually work with data that was collected. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. I actually work with data that was collected throughout the management period. So I actually didn't go out and collect the data myself. It was the data that was collected by the management team, and then I went through and made databases and worked with all that collected data.
Was there, or in their records, was there any information about the proportion of
No.
with some of these genetic issues? Or
No, there wasn't. Yeah.
We have that data.
You do have that data? Okay. Yep. Sorry, I didn't have that data. It wasn't part of my project, but it looks like that is available, and could be possibly someone else's project another year.
Common question.
There was an observation of koala calling on the road into American River, so very close to the Dudley Beach.
Yeah.
Probably 2 k's down the road on the way into American River.
I guess that's slightly concerning then, isn't it? They do monitor. They do monitor in Dudley Peninsula each year, and koalas have not been found any years. So as yet, according to management data, there is no koalas in Dudley Peninsula, and we hope that doesn't change.